What's up, Lakers fans? This is a Lakers Theory podcast. I'm Shane Jackson. Joined with me, as always, is Austin Case. We're coming to you live after maybe the worst game of the season. The Lakers won 99-94 the Portland Trailblazers, if you can call it a win, I guess. They finished with more points, but that was not appealing to the eye, and I would not consider it a win from a just statement standpoint or mentality standpoint, but it's a win nonetheless, and into 3-game skid for the Lakers. First initial thoughts, Austin, from that game.
I thought AD looked great, and honestly, that was the best thing about this game. Just seeing AD play really well, and it kind of seemed like his mid-range shot was falling a lot more than it has been. So I thought that was awesome. Carmelo was awesome tonight. I love Melo. Honestly, that's it. That's about that's about as exciting as the game was to me.
It's you could just tell by our tone, like how we felt about this game. And it was a win, and just how different it was from, I believe, the last win and the last time we did a show, right? Yes. Which was Tuesday of last week against the Brooklyn Nets when the Lakers won 106-96. And honestly, we were pretty optimistic. We were like, hey, that new season, it starts now. And I guess the reason the change of the tone in our feelings is because what's happened since then. LeBron got hurt. And the timeline is iffy as of now. I think today's report was kind of positive, but still unclear. And waiting for the swelling to go down essentially is LeBron. And really, that's just put a bummer on basically any positive momentum or happiness we may have had about the team for a brief moment of the season, of really the past 2 seasons. Was basically that one game. And honestly, even at that point, when we were excited, it wasn't about now the Lakers can win a title. It was more just like, finally, let's have a shot at this, and we didn't get it. And so I think it was just important to address, I guess, the difference in our tone from this podcast compared to last podcast, which has only been a week apart. Is that big picture wise? Is that where you stand? I mean, what is your, I guess, outlook now is since the last show?
Honestly, I feel like every time I think they're turning a corner to get better, they run a streak of just being flat out terrible. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they turned a corner tonight. You're not going to turn any corner when LeBron James is not even on the floor. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't pay that much attention to this game. Outside of AD, who I felt like it was just a complete game by him, something that we hadn't seen the past two seasons. So, I think AD starting to get his feet under him a little more. Some guys are still playing well. They're in a rough spot, I would say. So, there are things to still be optimistic about, but winning a championship, I'm going to put that on hold until Game 7, and there's a half a second left. So we'll see about that.
Yes. So if the season had ended before this game or yesterday, these were the 9 and 10 seeds of the Western Conference playoff. And so they would be the playing, it basically be an elimination game between those two. Right. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that was just a fitting way to describe it. The way they played basketball tonight. It was a fitting way. Like, neither of these teams deserve to be in the playoffs, based off tonight. I mean, it was just brutal. And that's why, you mentioned that you're not really taking much from this game, because even the way they were doing things, I saw Crange's basketball tweet, like, they're just not running a scheme anymore whatsoever. At one point, it felt like about a month ago, they were at least, doing the process right, but it wasn't leading to results. And that was a positive thing. But now it's just, they've given up. It's just pick up basketball. It's we'll try to be better than you with our guys. Tonight it worked because they have AD and Russ. Theoretically, that is better than what the Dameless Blazers are supposed to be. And so that worked in that sense. But, in terms of a playoff series or, play-in game, it's the way this team is going to win is if they fix that part. They stop playing this type of pickup basketball mentality and actually have a purpose with what they're doing on that end of the floor. And, maybe we don't get that without LeBron, which is sad to say. But really, I mean, look at that offense down the stretch. It was just players throw up jumpers and AD has to hustle and get a rebound and get fouled. Like that was the offense in crunch time. So that is proof right there that they don't do anything on that end that matters. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really frustrated. It was annoying.
Yeah. I just felt like this game, there was never a moment where I was just like out of my seat, ready for something to happen. I outside of Carmelo, like I get on the edge of my seat anytime he throws a ball up because I think it's going in. But and dude, this was just a boring game, but they won, and so like that they need to win these types of games. Like honestly, this is the type of games they need to win. Honestly, I thought Russ was gonna blow it. Like he was right there for that triple double, and I noticed like that. I think they flashed a stat or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, this guy. I was like, this guy's about to take. He's just gonna shoot the ball each time until he gets it, and like he picked up his rebound, I think on a offensive board or something. And then missed the putback, and I was just like, "This guy is going to shoot the ball until he gets it." So
jacked up
I was
on
worried.
the left wing.
Yeah.
It feels like you're saying the same things over and over again because I mean the same issues are still happening in February with this team. And there's nothing to fix that. And so you're still talking about Russell Westbrook's late game decision making. You're still talking about the fact that he takes these jumpers when in reality that is not what he's supposed to be doing. And it's just and the team in general. The one thing that is different and that you mentioned is AD. Like since he's come back from an injury, like he looks like real AD, like the closest thing we've seen to bubble AD in the past 2 years. And I mean, if LeBron's healthy and he's healthy, you like your chances. As of now, though, that's not the case, and it's tough to believe that will be the case until we see otherwise. Quick look ahead: the Lakers play the Clippers tomorrow night, so probably tonight if you're listening to this podcast on Thursday, and then the Knicks, Bucks, Blazers, Warriors is kind of that next stretch. So I don't know. There's some winnable games in there. I don't know if when LeBron is coming back, if he's coming back, but you would like to think that, you can hover around that 500 mark and tread water until he gets back. And then maybe you can, position yourself to be higher in the play-in format because it feels like play-in's inevitable at this point.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to stay out of it unless there's just a crazy push, but we have not seen any evidence that is a possibility. So if they weren't in the play-in, I would be shocked.
Well, that's going to do it for probably our worst podcast ever, but it was fitting of this game and this team. It was maybe the worst performance I've seen from them, especially in a win. So it was pretty much a bummer all the way around, and the show deserved it. You will not see fake optimism here, at least this time around. Maybe we will have hope if LeBron returns to this team and that changes things. But for now, this is our mood, and this is what we believe in this team. So, yeah, I'm sure you Lakers fans feel the same way. He's Austin Case. I'm Shane Jackson. Thank you so much for listening to a Lakers Theory podcast, and see you next time.